When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
In transit today is a love letter to the stick shift, the manual transmission. You know, I mentioned our text line, 514-800. Want to know what you thought about the stick shift, and my text line is blown up here with mini love letters to the stick shift. Elias, my Toyota 2005 manual 5-speed, I love it. It has saved my life a few times because controlled speeds using gears. Eric writes, I wouldn't know what to do with my left leg if I gave up on clutches. Driving is fun. Participating in the process adds to that fun. Those text messages keep coming in. Thanks for sending them, by the way. But the writing is on the wall. Stick shifts are dying. It's become a niche market. Auto manufacturers are bailing on manuals, and it seems like they'll go extinct over the next few years. Some say this is going to be a huge loss, including our next guest. Ian Bogost is with us, just penned a piece as a contributor to The Atlantic called The End of the Manual Transmission. I should also note, director of the Film and Media Studies program at Washington University in St. Louis. Go Cardinals. Ian, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. Good to be here.
So, Ian, your piece in The Atlantic, it actually starts off, which I find amusing, with some of the bad things, the annoying things of the manual transmission. So tell me about those things in your life and why you still decided to pen this piece.
Yeah, you know, driving in stop-and-go traffic where you're clutching all the time, it's a pain. Nobody can valet my car anymore. I'm always self-parking. My wife doesn't drive it, and so that means, you know, if one of the cars is in the shop or, you know, something else is going on, you know, our option, we're not really a two-car family. I can't hold a drink, or at least, you know, not safely while I'm driving. All those kinds of things are part of the experience, but, you know, despite all of them, I love driving it.
Ian, that's amazing. Even the valets, even people that by the nature of the job have to drive cars for a living, don't know how to drive a stick. So it seems to me, once the valets can't drive manual, all hope is lost.
Yeah, that's when I really started to think, okay, something is happening. Something has changed. Because people have been lamenting the hypothetical end of the stick shift for years, if not decades. It's been this thing that as the automatic rose, you know, lamentation or kind of the specialness of the stick shift was seen to be lost. Not everyone learned to drive when they were a kid. Not everyone bought one, and so on. But now that really, I think it really has changed, mostly because of electrification, but also because that demand curve has finally sunk to the point where manufacturers are pulling out.
So Ian, I know you've got a little bit of more detail on that. Can you give it to our listeners straight for the auto manufacturers? Just how bad is it? Who's been bailing? What is left when it comes to manuals?
Yeah, the performance automobile makers, you know, the Ferraris and Lamborghinis, gave up on the stick a long time ago because from a performance perspective, a dual clutch automatic is better. So at the very top of the market, they've been gone for a while. And people were worried about that when it happened, because if you can't drive a stick in a sports car, then where can you? But, you know, now that electric vehicles are on the rise for good reason, they don't have gearboxes at all. They have transmissions, but they don't shift because you get all of that torque right away on the axle itself. So as Mercedes-Benz plans to electrify their fleet, this was a recent announcement. They've announced they're not going to make any manuals at all anywhere in the world by the end of next year. Volkswagen appears to be following suit by about 2030. So the dominoes are falling, basically, and you just won't be able to buy a new one. If you have an old one that sticks around, of course, you could still drive it.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ian, in your eulogy here, it's far more than just losing gears. We're losing something else. What else do you think we're losing once those options are now gone for everybody?
The thing that really interests me about the manual transmission is just like as an apparatus in the world, is it's this kind of ubiquitous thing. A lot of people drive or watch people drive or are passengers in cars, and the stick is this device. It's hard to use, but once you learn to use it, it pays dividends, and you feel as though you're connected to a human-invented apparatus. The car, a man-made device. Now you're in control of it. And there's just not that many things like that anymore. They've been kind of stripped away. Like even when you go to the public restroom or something, the faucet won't let you touch and use it. It's using sensors and that kind of thing. The mapping app that you use tells you where to go and how to get there. You try to buy something online, and it's trying to tell you what it thinks you want based on your search history. So even though those things don't seem related to driving, I think they are. Mm-hmm. We've been losing control continuously over the years, and the manual was sort of a symbol of that fusion of humankind and machine.
Well, Ian, listen, you're speaking to me there. I think we have so many other examples, right? Just think of how we consume coffee, right? And how we went from brewing a cup of coffee or making our own cappuccino with a nice fancy machine that required some sort of manual interaction to pop in the pod and press go, right?
That's exactly it, yeah.
This is just life here. But I guess, Ian, and we're with Ian Bogost. He's a contributing writer at The Atlantic, and his latest piece for The Atlantic is called The End of Manual Transmission. So, Ian, why is this different from the VCR, the fax machine, the coffee machine that used to require a lot more effort here? What makes the car different from all of those other technologies that are now gone obsolete?
There's a couple things that I think are important. So people responding to the piece, some of them have gone like, what about motorcycles? What about bicycles? And those are interesting counterpoints. So the motorcycle is very much like this, and you have to shift your motorcycle. But that's still something of a niche apparatus. It has all sorts of safety issues associated with it and the whole kind of mystique around it, whereas the automobile is the every person's conveyance. So it's what everyone uses for better or worse. And unlike the bicycle, the manual transmission, it's a struggle. You're not fighting with it, but you are sort of working in tandem with it and trying to figure out kind of what's it doing, and it gives you feedback, and sometimes the gears grind. You can't get it into gear. You're in the wrong gear, and you have to shift down. And all of that sort of negotiation is what's interesting to me, that sense that it's not just that you can use the machine in a seamless way, but that you and it are communicating back and forth with one another. And it's funny you mentioned the espresso. I just pulled 2 espressos this morning on my manual machine. So of course you can see the pattern in my lifestyle here. But it's the same thing there. It's like you learn something about the world and yourself by using these devices, which is different from having their capacities taken away from you and automated.
Ian, what is your plan for yourself, for your future cars? Because, I think anyone who is really determined to, at least for the foreseeable future, will be able to figure out a way, either from a used car or fixing up the one they have, to keep driving manual. What's your plan for the future?
I think that anyone who's going to get a new car today has to strongly consider an electric vehicle for all manner of reasons, and that's what I would consider next. And the fun of driving those is huge. It's just different. But for me, I live within biking distance to work, and I'm just trying to drive less. And in that case, I may just keep my car for fun. Turn it into something more of an entertainment device rather than a transportation vehicle. And I suspect that might happen more and more. In the same way that you might pull out a motorcycle or a sports car for kind of weekend fun on the track, or like maybe a boat or something like that. That may be a future for many. But people are going to keep driving, and driving is great, and it will be more efficient, cleaner, and generally better for everyone once we go over this hill. It's just that there is something lost in so doing.
Ian, second time on this program, first time on In Transit. Loved your latest piece in The Atlantic. For our listeners, it's called The End of Manual Transmission. Ian, thanks so much for coming on the program.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Ian Bogost as well, the director of the program of Film and Media Studies at Washington University in St. Louis. The love letters continue to come in on the text line. Travis in Kirkland writes me this: I love driving stick But there's a but here. Getting stuck in traffic is exhausting. I drive now a continuously variable transmission, a CVT, and get better gas mileage than stick without the constant clutch pumping in traffic. And Neil writes, I have an old Porsche, 6-speed shift. It's the best, but even better, my 3 kids don't know how to drive it. Love that. Thanks, Neil.